Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English summary, a gist and a translation of the Majlis of HAZRAT MAULANA UZZAMAN Sahab Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on the 11th of Shawwal 1442, on Monday, the 11th of Shawwal 1442, corresponding with the English date 24th of May 2021. Hazrat Wala Damat Barakatuhum starts off the Majlis by quoting the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Innamal a'malu bin niyat." Thereafter, Hazrat Wala Damat Barakatuhum goes on to say, this is a very famous hadith. The status and the daraja of this hadith is very high. It is for this reason that ulama used to start off their kitabs with this particular hadith. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to give a lot of explanation on this particular hadith. Rather, if you open up the Ma'arif Muslihul Ummah, you will find that pages on end is on the same topic under the same hadith. Maulana Abdullah Kapodrawi used to say that such kalam and ilm I have not heard about before regarding these talks of Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab. So this is a very important hadith. More than just starting with this hadith or reciting this hadith, we need to bring it into our lives practically. And we should ponder, keep this in our minds, that is it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or not? The incident of two traditionists that they were discussing, and the topic came about ikhlas, and they started speaking whether themselves did they have ikhlas or not. And many hours into the night, they discussed on this, and they were speaking about that it is a great possibility that we don't have ikhlas. I'm speaking to you and quoting, I want to quote a hadith that you do not know of. So I'm doing it for this or for that. That's how much importance they attach to sincerity and ikhlas. Maulana Zahurul Hasan, when he came to Allahabad and he seen this here, he was so amazed. And he said, because what was it? What was demanded from the audience or from the students or from the near and dear ones? It was that of ikhlas, sidq and sincerity. And he would even take them to task when he understood or there were signs of a person not being sincere. So he would say that there in Tanabon that was the same, and here as well it is the same, ikhlas and ikhlas and ikhlas. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, from the very beginning, we were very very young at that time, and he would come and he would say that what are you doing? Why have you came? What's all this for? And we would answer to him and say, it is for Allah. And then he would remark and he would say, yes, okay, but that is very difficult. Sometimes we have reached old age and our niyat is still not correct. The Buzurgan-e-Din attached great importance to rectifying one's intention, tasheeh niyat. In fact, there's a lot of kalam in the kitabs about this, that many people seek ilm for the express intention so that they may debate with others. They may challenge them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat that we study with the intention of our own rectification and reformation, and so that we can pass it on to others as well. Allah ta'ala give us this tawfiq. And when we do something, and when we accomplish something, and something comes to completion, then bihamdillahi alladhi bini'matihi tatimmu salihat. All praise is due to Allah, through whose grace all good things become complete. You know, I'm saying, after 50 years, the Aqwal-e-Salaf has now come to an end. And we attribute it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's all praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If He did not give us light in our eyes, He did not give us strength in our hands, He did not give us the tawfiq and the hidayat, He did not give us the strength of the heart and the mind, would this be come to an end? Would this come to completion? Never. Rather, if even there was a deficiency in one of these things, we would not be able to complete this great task. In fact, I have started all over again, from the very start again, from the volume 1, and I am selecting that which I prefer and trying to condense it further, trying to condense this whole encyclopedia further. Our Buzurgan-e-Deen was such that when they performed salat, when they completed the salat, they would thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gave them the tawfiq of reading salat. That's how their minds were. You know, the azan goes and we hear Hayya ala salah, Hayya ala al-falah, come to salah and come to success. And at that time we do not repeat those wordings which the muazzin calls out, because that would be greatly disrespectful. But rather we say, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. There is no might and there is no power to come to that salah or to come to that success except from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Basically, we are asking for tawfiq and hidayat from the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's in the start. And after we complete that salat, what do we say? We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us the hidayat of carrying out that particular salat. When we complete the action, we attribute it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We do not look down upon someone else. Maulana Iqbal used to say very well regarding sincerity, that if somebody did not complete some task, or if somebody did not do that particular work, and we came along and we do that work of his, or we complete his duty, that is sincerity. And then Hazrat Wala, Damat Barakatum, goes on to say that I quote to you my own experience. On one occasion I came and I said, close this or off that. And the person who I was saying it to replied and said, but that's not my duty. That's not my work. He says, great grief and sorrow came to my heart at that time. Not that he was telling me that, rather more than this year, that where is our ikhlas gone to? Where is our sincerity gone to? That are we not a well-wisher of the madrasa? Could we not even carry out that amount? Just that small little bit that somebody was absent and could not complete that? You know, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab would quote this incident so many times. And after that, I found the Arabic ibarat of it, the Urdu ibarat of it as well. It was regarding an incident of a man who always performed his salat in the first row of the masjid. One day, and it was for many years on end that he carried out this amal in this way. One day, he was unwittingly delayed and he had to stand in the second row, due to which a sadness and a feeling of grief overcame him when it dawned on him that standing in the first saf brought pleasure and contentment of heart, realizing that the people saw him, and then realizing his evil intentions, that now I'm in the second saf, what would the people say? And he's thinking to himself now, but how come I'm reading salat all these years and this is still in my mind, that what are the people going to say today, that I missed my first saf or I missed my takbir-e-ula? Realizing this year, can you believe this? Can you believe the ikhlas and sincerity of these great pious predecessors? He repeated the salat of all those years. Decades of salat, he repeated this. This incident, Hazrat Wala says, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to quote this to us, which was very effective in inciting and teaching the lessons of ikhlas. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq of inculcating true ikhlas in ourselves. Don't we see so many kitabs were not completed? Look at the Fathul Mulhim, Maulana Shabir Ahmad Usmani. He could not complete it. Mufti Taqi Sahab completed it. So I'm coming back to this point again. Strength, time, age, your hands, your senses, your eyesight. It was all this, and then only it's a tawfiq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and these good works come to fruition or completion. So our a'mal needs to be coupled with ikhlas. Other places, yes, we even find ikhlas in other places, and so many other people, of course. But what can I say? If there's no ikhlas here at a place like this, upon which the foundation is built on ikhlas, then what can we say? So Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab was very particular about this. He would demand this ikhlas and sincerity from us, and he would take us to task when we erred in this aspect. At the time of opening the madrasa, here we're starting madrasa now, the new year starts after Ramadan, Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of completing and fulfilling the duties of this particular duty which is upon us. And every person should take it passionately. Rather, if any ustad sees anything that is out of place in the madrasa, with rifq, with tolerance, with shafqat, with compassion, then he should even correct the students, teach them, show them how to do it. You should do your duty, and I should also do my duty. We are all well-wishers of the madrasa. Rather, trust cannot be put on anyone. Rather, trust should be put solely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Bas Allah chalale, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is His deen, and He would take it from strength to strength. Our jaza lies with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah ta'ala give us the tawfiq of doing our amal with ikhlas. Our ajr is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our reward is with Him. In ajriya illa ala Allah. Allah is the genuine giver and bestower. Mu'ti hakiki is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In whichever little way we are doing our khidmat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of completing it correctly. And we can see what is happening to our society and the people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of indulging, going deeper into ilm sahih, because people day by day are going further and further away from the deen and correct and proper knowledge. They're going further and further away. Allah Ta'ala create ease. So many of our akabirin have passed away. So many of our well-wishers have gone. And now presently, what can I tell you? Abdullah Baidariwala in Zambia, one of the well-wishers of the madrasa, his wife has passed away. Now it is obvious with the separation there, he must be in so much of grief and sorrow. At this point in time, Allah Ta'ala make it easy for him. Allah Ta'ala lighten his burden for him. And this grief and sorrow that he is going through, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala lighten it for him. This was, and this majlis that we are having, the Isale Sawab of it is for the marhuma. So there are so many people who are sick. Allah Ta'ala grant them all shifa. Abdullah Baidariwala, his wife has passed away. Allah Ta'ala bless her with Jannatul Firdaus. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala bless her with all beautiful types of gifts and rewards. She was saintly, and what can we say? She was the wife of a saintly person. Her husband is saintly, and she is the mother of a saintly person as well, the children. So Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and hidayat of starting off our works with good intentions. The teachers, those in administration, the muntazimeen as well. And Allah Ta'ala couple all our actions with ikhlas and sincerity. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala take us from strength to strength. Allah Ta'ala put more passion and jazba in the hearts of people. Those who come and go, they sit here. They come to this institute. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them with ikhlas and sincerity. Allah Ta'ala give me also, Hazrat Wala is saying, the tawfiq and hidayat of doing good deeds. And Allah Ta'ala give me the hidayat of correcting my intention and all my zurriyat as well. Let us make dua. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin nabiyil ummi wa ala alihi wa sallim taslima. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept this gathering and this setting. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq and hidayat of making amal. Allah ta'ala bless us with ikhlas and sincerity. Allah ta'ala forgive the marhuma and bless her with the highest stages in Jannah. Allah ta'ala more and more turn the attention of the well-wishers of the madrasa and give them more tawfiq and the hidayat, especially in this time of difficulty of putting the attention to the madrasa and the works of the madrasa. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم. لا إله إلا الله.